Welcome back. Still on the weekend show, on the political segment, we will be discussing youth and politics in 2025. Now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had promised during his campaign to ensure that there's 35% involvement and inclusion of youth and women and also people with disability. Realistically speaking, he has done quite well with appointing young people into significant positions. In 2027, it's a new election year, but the permutations have started, conversations have started. But while we talk about young people, it's important to note that the 2019 and 2023 elections were largely led by young people's interest in politics. Some of them got discouraged because of Tigray and some of them because of election results, but some have now had the drive to be more involved in politics. What will 2025 look like for young people in politics? Will we have increased participation or is this a sinking ship? We have with us in the studio
Prince Kennedy Anutu, who's a national youth leader, Labour Party. Good morning.
Good to see you again.
Good to
Happy
see
New
you
Year,
too. Happy
Prince
New
Kennedy.
Happy
Year.
New Year. Happy New Year. You're not looking like what we're going through.
because I have a God who is kind to me.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Nigerian. It's good that you've mentioned that Nigerians have been going through it, not for anybody's particular doing, but also as a result of failure of leadership over the last couple of years. And when I say over the last couple of years, I mean from 1960 till now. Both parties, PDP, APC, and now Labour Party. Interestingly, your party rode on the wings of the youth movement and social media. But just this year, I've learned, well, last year, that at least 6 members in the National Legislative Arm have moved to other parties. What's your take on this? And how sustainable is the Labour Party if people are taking advantage of the gaps in the system, getting into place, and then moving away? Is this as a result of the failure of your party or the fact that no one is interested anymore in what's going on? And I have to start this way because that's the reality on ground.
Thank you so much. But, you know, the issue of moving from one political party to another didn't just start from Labour Party. In fact, it's as a result of lack of political ideology,
Yes.
political philosophy. People don't have political integrity. In other world, other climes, you have political institutions. Over the years, since independence, we've not been able to establish the true political institutions as it has to be. In the past, when we have NCNC, when we had our forefathers, those that fought for democracy, they almost got to it. But at some point, I think during Obasanjo first tenure or thereabout, that was when political institutions were bastardized. Before now, a national chairman of political party is seen as the president. The president is just an administrative head of the country, but in terms of political manifesto, in terms of the social contract with the people, it is well documented in the manifestos of political parties. So it makes it that whenever you win an election, what you are coming to do is to implement the manifesto of that political party. But today, what happens is that decisions are taken independently by politicians, the crop of politicians we have currently in Nigeria. It's no longer about partisanship. It's now about the individual. So that is why it is easy for somebody to win an election under the platform of one political party. They move with that victory of that political party. Instead of consolidating and building on that victory to get more, they move into a ruling class because there is this win and win it all mentality in African politics, in Nigerian politics, that the moment you emerge as the president, your party will win it all. Look at what is happening in Edo State. If you are in Edo State and you are a member of Labour Party or you are a member of PDP, you will be tempted to join the train because there is thuggery, there is force. They want to take over everything in Edo State because the government have taken, or the APC government have taken over. So everything is now tending, favoring, and aligning with people in APC. Even in National Assembly, majority of them that left, if you have an interaction with them, they will tell you that there are a level of alienation, level of push away that they experience on the floor. Before you even give an opportunity to talk, before you have something put for you in the budget, you must know your level of participation. So they only concentrate on luring people from opposition political parties so that they'll have one voice in the National Assembly, in the executive. But for me, it's not healthy for our polity. It's not healthy for Nigerian democracy, and it's not healthy for growth of younger generations. Because the moment we have one party system, godfatherism is the order of the day. Once godfatherism is the order of the day, youth participation in politics will be matched down.
Yeah.
I actually agree with the statement you made that individualism plays a huge part instead of leadership and loyalty to their political parties.
Yeah.
But I would like you to assess the current level of engagement of youths in politics. And when I say current, I mean like right now, not 2023, because I know a lot of people that were really involved, lots of youths that are really involved in the 2023 general elections. And based on maybe the results or based on things that they've experienced in the past almost 2 years now, they've taken a step back. So what's your assessment?
Sincerely, personally, I joined partisan politics in 2016 when, you remember the passage of Not Too Young to Run bill. That was when I had interest in politics and full-time politics. I did unionism in the university, I did SUG, I did the National Youth Council, but after the passage of that Not Too Young to Run, I ran an election in Abuja. And I can tell you that it almost put me on the floor, that election that I ran in 2019. I ran for House of Representatives in 2019. And in that 2019, we have many young people that ran out to run an election. But in 2023, there were more than 80% reduction from number of young people that aspired that wanted to run an election. Yes, why? Because number one, they looked at the cost of election in Nigeria. It's very, very expensive. In fact, as a young married man that time, I remember that I almost had problem with my wife on December 2018. I had never had rice in my house, and I was busy sharing rice to people. Because when I come to a place, they will clap for me and sing for me. You are going already. You are winning already. You are the one we know. That thing enters my head, and I forgot about my family and my things that is about me. I was pursuing it. I was seeing myself as already in National Assembly until the election. I saw how the vote is. So cost of election have affected youth participation in election. Then godfatherism have also hugely affected young people's participation in politics. For example, if you are in Rivers State in the last election, you had it when the former governor of Rivers State said it that I bought all the forms. If the governor don't like me and I've never got to meet him, what am I coming to do to run an election? It will not work because the governor don't know me. I've never done anything with him. He's not my friend. So what am I coming to do running an election? So that godfatherism, they choose, every godfather chooses who they want to be. In Imo State, I remember, after Rochas Okorocha's government, out of all the young people in Imo State, he felt it's his son-in-law that would be best to succeed him in office. And he brought his son-in-law. He saw what it cost in Imo State. So that godfatherism have really affected young people's participation in politics. In 2019, there were a huge number of young people that wanted to aspire to become honorable members, governors, and what have you. But in 2023, the difference was that instead of them aspiring, they ran that election through an individual, which is our presidential candidate. And you saw the increase in number of people that came out to register for their voters card. You saw an increase in young people's participation in the electoral process. And you saw the social media got on fire because that is what is available to them. So the 2023 general election was a total departure from 2019, but I saw it as an additional effort by young people to introduce a particular leader who will now help them achieve their own aspiration. That was why in 2019, majority of them ran on their self. In 2023, they now ran through an individual, which is our presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi. And you saw that election, how it went. Young people took on the street, 1 million man march, all what have you. But currently, we are also looking up to 2027. But I can tell you that the results of 2023 have really dampened many young people's participation. If you can remember, after that election, so many young people were breaking their voters' card. So many of them were tearing their international passport out of emotion and out of disappointment. So I know that it may be difficult, when you break somebody that is in love with you, you break his or her heart, it's difficult to always love again. But because of nation building, people like us always advocate that you can't stop on the middle of the road. You must get to the destination. So the young people in Nigeria cannot stop because of the experiences in the last election. We must continue to, Mandela said, long walk to freedom. So some of us may become grandfathers when Nigerian youth will be liberated, but eventually Nigerian youth will be liberated.
So I have a couple of questions, but the first one is speaking to strategies. So after 2019 and 2023, young people now channeled that energy to the presidential candidate. For any system to work effectively, you need representation across all levels, which means even if Peter Obi had won the presidency, he still has to battle with the National Assembly, and that's the Senate and the House of Reps, and different arms. And so that remains problematic. And I think your party should rethink that, because rather than putting all the effort on one person, you should look across the value chain. Now, the problem with that is the only opposition voice of sorts which we have in Nigeria is the Labour Party candidate, Peter Obi. But besides you being here and a few appearances, there's literally no real opposition voice in Nigeria right now. I mean, former Vice President Atiku will come up from time to time, and then we don't see him till he comes back. But for your party, do you think you people are playing an active role in holding this government accountable? And we're not saying you should hate on them. They have some success stories.
Yeah, sure.
But do you think your party is playing an active role in holding government accountable besides what Peter Obi is doing?
Well, in all honesty, the Labour Party have tried to hold this government accountable. And you mentioned that if Peter Obi had won, that it would be difficult for him to govern because of spread and because of people in National Assembly. I can put it to you that it's because we are not developing democratically and politically. If we develop politically and democratically, there is no relationship. The only relationship is in terms of policy. National Assembly looks at what the people need, they make their law, and they bring it to the president for him to assent or say no. And if the National Assembly are opposing the executive, the public, the citizens who are the highest office holder, the highest office is supposed to be the office of the citizen. The citizens are watching. So it will be easy for a president to say, I am building road from Abuja to Anambra, from Abuja to Castina, from Abuja to Nasarawa. And the National Assembly will now oppose him and say, no, you won't build that road. Rather, go and buy special aircraft for the Senate President. Go and buy special aircraft for the Speaker. The Nigerian people will revolt against the National Assembly. So that 2023 election, in as much as I agree with you that there is need for a spread, and that spread was because Nigerian politicians find it difficult to build political institutions. Today, yes, we may not be doing much because we have faced serious war. Labour Party has been facing, you know what has been happening. In fact, thank God, yesterday, the appeal court also gave us victory, gave the leadership victory. Immediately after 2023 election, what we have in Nigeria are politicians. Pepper soup is done politicians. They will be sitting behind the scene watching you starve, fast, chop corn. But the moment the light beams on you, they will now begin to tell you that that cloth you've been wearing is not the cloth you're supposed to wear. That is now their cloth that you're supposed to wear. That was the experience of Labour Party. Labour Party has been there for years. Some of us has been there playing our politics without notice. But the moment the light of the situation of the country, that people need change, people need the real change from the status quo, the P2B factor came to Labour Party. And Nigerian politicians, being who they are, saw that Peter Obi was to win that election. All of them now came to Labour Party. They have never known what Labour Party constitution is all about. They've never read Labour Party manifesto. They don't know what Labour Party is. But because of Peter Obi, everybody now came to Labour Party. The moment after that election, they now feasted on the leadership of the party. They wanted to hijack the leadership of the party. They now felt that Abure has never flown a private jet, that he doesn't deserve to be national chairman. They now felt that Kennedy doesn't have, phonetic accent as a local boy, village boy, that he's not supposed to be the national leader. They now felt that all the state chairmen, no matter how timid that they are, that they should be pushed away. So that fight have really affected Labour Party. Because I expected that immediately after that election in 2023, the Labour Party will go and have a retreat where they now look at the areas of failures, the areas of successes, and now consolidate. But there is no house that will make progresses under the scenario of fighting. That internal bickering and internal leadership struggle have really affected the party.
We agree with that. However, I must give credit and comment Senator Ireti Kingibe, who has played an active role in the National Assembly. I saw her interview when they were questioning the FRSC a week ago about their activities, which I 100% agree with her. In most cases, while they're meant to protect our life, they are causing nuisance by blocking the roads in very weird places and also remittances. So yes, you still have some good eggs who are still a leading voice for people, but because of time, I'll let you go to the next question.
Yeah. With the growing sense of political awareness amongst young people, how can we sustain this momentum? Because I'll still go back to what I said about 2023 being a year where lots of youths were vibrant and everything, and by next year, campaigns begin again.
Yeah.
They have less than 2 years actually in office.
They've actually started discussing.
So exactly, campaign begins
now.
again. So how can we maintain this momentum? How can it be sustained?
The truth, from my own angle, from Labour Party perspective, we've already started engaging with, you see, we didn't perform very much in the north. And currently, our strategy is to get more visibility in the north. And we have started. Last week, we inaugurated some, this week even, we appointed people in the northeast, northwest. We want to start reaching out from the grassroots to build a party from the grassroots. So I can assure you, from now till the next 6 months, 8 months, there will be a level of publicity of Labour Party in the north. And then, secondly, we achieve that by Nigerian youth remaining determined, remaining resolute. I don't want them to be deterred by what happened in 2023. We have to continue to hold our leaders accountable. We have to, in fact, I'm waiting for the president to set a date. It's easy for this government to make promises. In 1st October, the president mentioned that there will be youth confab, where the youth are expected to come and share their views and say things they want for their future, for their country. Up till now, today is 18th of January. Nothing has happened. No date for that confab. No guideline has come out. And I believe that youth leaders of political parties must also have input, because we interact with virtually youth from every part of this country. So we also have a memoranda to submit to tell government this is how to get it right. It's not about sharing palliative that doesn't get to them. Okay, look at what is happening in Nigeria. Minister of Power is putting in the budget 8 billion for him to consult and educate, enlighten people on how to pay electric bill. Do you need anybody to tell you to pay electric bill before you pay it? Look at what happened last time. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs put 3 billion in the budget to consult on how to give Nigerian youths 25,000 naira per month. Can you see this thing? So Nigerian youths have suffered, because they will come on TV and say palliative, this and that, it won't reach their hand. So this government have promised youth confab. 4 months behind, nothing has happened. So Nigerian youth must concentrate on building relationships, not to fighting government or committing all manner of atrocities. We must remain responsible citizens. We must form alliances with ourselves. National Youth Council should stop politicking. SUGs should stop politicking. NANS should stop politicking. We must come on the same table and decide that even if we can decide that a 40-year-old young man must be our presidential candidate, and we'll all queue behind him. Who are they using? Look at Edo in recent days, fighting everywhere. Who are they using? Those people are in the age bracket of 25 to 45. None of those persons carrying bullet, carrying gun, or carrying a machete, or carrying stick is above 45. They are all between 25 and 45. So if the people between this age bracket can sit down and say, never again shall we let somebody that's above 70 to be Nigerian president, we can achieve it.
Prince Kennedy, that's a good place to leave
Beautiful
it.
place to leave
We'll
it,
continue
actually.
this conversation over the next couple of months. But it's extremely important for young people who have been appointed into positions and elected. Eyes are on you, and you represent a whole generation, and the onus is on you to do the right thing as at when due. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll still have a whole lot more for you on the Weekend Show. Thank you so much, Prince Kennedy, and
Thank you.
all the best with
Thank you so
your
much.
thank
activities.
you.
Thank you. Thank you, my